Okay, no, I think I have to go like this.
Okay.
I'm live now. I can't hold my phone horizontally. That's okay. Hi, everybody. We are 3 minutes away from my studio tour. Let's turn on some comments. There we go. Oh my goodness. Hi, George. I miss you so much. Say hi, George. Okay, so you'll be able to see comments and everything. And then I can just give you, and we'll flip it from, see that middle one? You're gonna flip that.
Oh, so I'm facing out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you going to do that before you? We're going to start out there, aren't we? When we're going to flip it out there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're live now.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it was all working. A little pan around. There's my cool ceiling.
I don't have any certifications.
He's a good cameraman. He's my roadie. He'll be rewarded. He took a good bike ride today.
I'd like to be rewarded with a haircut.
I know. Okay, I'm going to switch it off of this and we're going to go outside. Okay.
Beautiful day, that's for sure. Ooh.
You see text coming in?
Becky said, Jim, hi from Kutztown, PA.
Oh. Hi. Alrighty. Hi everyone. Welcome to day 3 of the Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Festival, our virtual online show. I'm so proud of everyone for pulling this together with such short notice, and it's just been a really wonderful thing that the board has offered to our 143 show artists. So my name is Kerry Sacco. I'm an oil painter working primarily in landscapes, animals, some figurative work. I live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's in beautiful central part of the state. I'm originally from Philadelphia, so I've been doing the Rittenhouse show for over 20 years, and normally you can find my booth right at the corner of 18th and Locust. It is a prime spot now because Park Restaurant is right across the street, but we have sat through that spot when there was nothing but construction for 3 years and it was a hotel, but we just love the whole vibe that Philadelphia has now. I miss my city, I miss the park, I miss all my friends that used to come visit me at the show that live down there now, that help me out. I miss my volunteers and my outreach people. So anyway, I'm going to talk about my house. It is an 1823 stone farmhouse. It is very historic. It was a Penn land grant given to 2 brothers and a cousin that came over from Switzerland. He awarded them 3 properties around this area, this being one of them. And they were seeking freedom from persecution. Imagine that, coming to the U.S. to seek a better life. So, anyway, as you pan around, we have a really cool barn. We have great events in here. We have live music and plein air shows, and looking forward to when we can reopen That's the resident mini horse caboose. And so this is an addition that was put on in the 1840s. It was the first addition put on the stone home. It's very typical, the brick architecture, the detail up top. We've turned it into a beautiful studio space that I feel very blessed to have. Okie dokie. So here we took off, we took out 2/3 of the ceiling, put a skylight in, opened up some light. Everyone says, oh, you know, it was a dark, dingy room to start. It's comfortable in all kinds of weather. If I need a little heat, I throw on a little gas fireplace. There is AC, which is great. I love my fireplace. I used Mercer Tile reproductions from Moravian Tile Works in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. That was just something that has been really special to recreate this. And then you'll just kind of pan around and see I have, you know, 2 windows, my wall of inspiration, my TV that I never use. We put in shelving that has 2 grooves so it can handle my painting panels when I'm working in wet work a lot. And my handsome cameraman is my husband, Jim Warner. Turn it on yourself, honey. Okay, he's shaking his head. There he is. Okay. So we just have been fortunate to shelter in place, and today is like a beautiful day too. So I wish, you know, we could see you in person, but this is the next best thing. So I'm going to do a little demo of my process of how I paint my little songbird panels. Typically when I come to the outdoor shows, I bring small works, because especially when we're dealing with being in an urban environment like that, a lot of people say, oh, I'm running out of space, and but they're still art collectors. So my 6x6 panels work really well. They can be stacked or horizontal. So I'm just going to sit down, and then, honey, you're going to zoom in on my process. So you can ask questions while I'm painting. We have plenty of reading glasses to read your comments, and I don't mind answering them. So I use a palette that this is just my disposable palette for now, but my colors that I choose are usually the double primaries, which are a warm and cool blue, a warm and cool red, warm and cool yellows. Now, when I'm painting songbirds, I have to bump up kind of the chroma a lot of times with their colors. So I tack on like a cadmium yellow, green, light. I have some neutralizing colors that I love, transparent red oxide, transparent yellow oxide, a raw umber. But I typically, if I'm painting like bright red cardinals, I have to add a wider variety of reds. Same with like little hummingbirds, I have to do some extra kind of blues in there. I use all kinds of brands of paint. I've been watching a lot of these artist videos, and I know that what a lot of people are saying is true. You know, just if you pick a transparent red oxide from one manufacturer, it could be totally different from another. So it's just kind of hit or miss chance, the way I've been working it out, and that's what I like to do. I use Galkid as my painting medium. It has a really nice gloss that stays with my paintings even when they dry. When I'm working with plein air work, I use liquid a lot to speed up the drying because plein air festivals, you're painting so fast and you want you're framing your paintings wet, and so this helps with drying, but sometimes the oil painting, when it's completely dry, has kind of an uneven look to it, which we take care of with varnishing usually. So, all right, so here are two kind of started bird panels. So what these are is a wood cradle board that's 3/4 inch thick. I seal it, I paint a gesso on top, and then I paint this kind of pink ground color. And you'll see why I do that, because I scratch song lyrics into the backgrounds and the sides, and that pink color showing through is just a really nice feel. I sketch the birds out usually, and then I paint the background, and I paint the edges before I attempt the bird. Just because it can sometimes get really messy. I can do it all in one sitting, but if I have the time, I choose to do a couple of these like this and let that dry, and then I can work on the bird and I go into the background a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to start the background of this. It's actually a female cardinal. Do we have any questions? No?
Give them time.
Okay. I'm using a wider brush. Again, I don't have any favorite brushes. Sometimes I get Princeton brushes. I really miss AC Moore. I used to get some good brushes from there. Okay, so I'm going to work a little bit lighter behind the bird's body to start, so she'll come forward, and then I'll just work in different patterns. So I turn my brush back and forth.
Kerry, do you use photos for reference?
I use photos for reference, yes. Sometimes they're my own photos, sometimes they're just photos I find on the internet. The cardinals are a little shy. It's hard to get them. I can get the goldfinches. They appear in my yard pretty early, and we usually have a bunch of sunflowers blooming towards the end of the summer, so I kind of stalk the goldfinches. So you keep your edges real soft. That's a really good method that I just have learned over the years. So now I might start introducing some purples, and for this purpose, usually I keep my colors really clean, but I start to drag the next color over into some of the other colors I've mixed, just to have it like local color, more realistic. So I'll throw a little. Got to dip a little medium there. So I was able to catch a lot of the demos yesterday on Facebook Live. It's just been like really wonderful because I don't get to walk around the show that much to meet the other artists, and I feel like I'm really getting to know everybody now. And it's just so cool, you know, like South Florida, Colorado. All right, I'm going to introduce a little bit of blue. Just here and there. I've been really loving the female cardinals and their soft colors. Try to picture, a lot of times the cardinals are hopping around on the ground or like really hiding in foliage. So I'm just like kind of making up a little background pattern. So if some of you just want to say hi and where you're watching from, I like to hear that too, because it helps me envision talking to you at a show.
Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show likes the demo.
Oh, Rittenhouse Square Fine Art Show. Okay, so now I've kind of like gone into
Amy from South Tampa.
Oh, hi, Amy. Amy Karstensen, is that who it is? Yeah. Hi, Amy.
Hi from Cape Cod. That was the Rittenhouse Fine Art.
Okay, so now I'm gonna like really clean my brush. I use Winsor Newton brush cleaner restorer. I love this. This has saved me from purchasing multiple brushes. I used to faithfully wash them out, and you know.
You were asked if you can identify birds by sound. I'm going to say no.
Oh, I do know
Oh, you
certain
do?
ones.
Oh.
Yeah, I know how the cardinals sound and the chickadees, and yes. I'm not going to do bird calls for you, but the cool thing about where we live is our house is surrounded by trails, and there are a lot of birders. There's a lot of really nice, like there's wetland, there's open meadow, and we have learned so much from all of our birder friends walking around here. We have a great blue heron at our pond. We have green herons. We have kingfishers, barn swallows, field swallows, bluebirds, and you know, the birders are walking around telling me all about the warblers that are coming, and so it is just really great that we've learned a lot. The owls are really cool too, barred owls and great horn. So with a cleaner brush now, I'm just going to soften all that. I might have to brush it off, get her softened. Oh yeah, puppy's here. I get to say hi. So this makes it just a really nice, soft, muted color. And then what I do is usually I have music on while I'm painting. And I hear a song that has really great inspirational lyrics, or we lost John Prine due to the virus, and Jim and I are huge John Prine fans, along with so many other people. So a lot of my paintings recently of these songbirds have John Prine lyrics, which are, his lyrics are just like really, some of them are very, very sad, but truthful and quirky and funny and witty, and we just love them. But for this, I listened to Marvin Gaye's whole album yesterday, and I wanted to put the lyrics to what's going on, and it's just crazy how timeless these lyrics can be. So I pulled up his lyrics on the internet, and so I just kind of scratch. I start writing cursively. I'm going to need my glasses for this. So it's not that, you know, it's like legible. It's just been like therapeutic for me, and it's meaningful. Sometimes I do commissions for people that they request certain songs. Like my friend asked for lyrics to You Are My Sunshine, or Someone to Watch Over Me.
Robin Ann from Southwest Florida.
Hello.
Vahi from Philadelphia.
You know, war.
Some guy named Pete Sacco is crashing it.
Petey Sacco. Now, I started doing a couple of these birds too. Cardinals are really special to my family.
Becky's on saying
Hi, Beck. My mom was from Kentucky, so we grew up loving cardinals, and every time we see one, it reminds me of her. So I just like the way some of it pops through. Now, I used to be a hand letterer. That was my job at a silk screen company for years. I did calligraphy. Move back a little bit. And, you know, they just don't teach cursive in school anymore. I was writing a lot of letters when this whole shutdown happened, just, you know, to stay in touch with people with something that was more meaningful than a text or a emoji. All right, I'm almost to the bottom. Did you say Julie? Oh, hey, Julie. Hey, Sandy. Okay, so that's how I start, like, the background. And then what I was saying is then I usually do my sides, and I mix up a black with a vermilion to warm it up. That's typically the only time I use black in my paintings. And I paint that, and then I scratch the same song lyrics in that background. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go back to the image of the cardinal. And I'm just going to start going in and showing you a little bit more. Now, like I said, they're like beautiful muted colors in a female cardinal. So I have some of my more neutral colors laid out. But they do have a ton of like reflection in their feathers, what they are picking up from all the greens that surround them. That's what I love, is identifying that. I like to do that in my landscape painting too. And I'll just have a couple. I usually mix with my palette knife, but I'm just gonna jump in here. Have a couple. So that, you know, kind of is like the feel of like the female cardinal's colors. And I might have to work with the value in this. Yeah, it is 12:21. So I'll just work on this a little bit more. We're going to do a little tour of some artwork when I'm kind of finish this little.
Sharon Strine Art loves the idea of incorporating the lyrics.
Thanks, Sharon. It's very special. It's, like I said, it's therapeutic. And I listened to a Neville Brothers CD. I listen to CD still. From 1988, and it's just unbelievable how it's the same message repeating itself in history, and it's just crazy. JoJo just laying under the table. I try to go in the direction of the way their feathers might lie, you know, or be formed. They do have touches of, you know, the brights in some of their pin feathers. I do a lot of hummingbird paintings too, and a woman who comes to the show a lot contacted me and, you know, asked if I had any, you know, for sale, and so I directed her to my website, which is what I'm going to do for you guys. And it was so neat because I don't know if this is true, but I heard that like a flock of or a group of hummingbirds is called a charm. So I shared that with her, and she was so happy. She's like, well, I'd like to purchase these two to add to my charm. So it was just a great random trivia story. I put this painting on Facebook yesterday, and I said I just loved the underpainting, the drawing so much. It was hard to picture like painting over all this, but some of the people I was watching yesterday who were like doing portraiture or anything, it's like we as professional artists, we have a really strong connection to our artwork, and our artwork, your paintings kind of speak back to you, and if you give them time, they'll tell you the direction you're supposed to go. And that's what I love. Like these birds, all of a sudden they'll come to life when I put that final little reflective dot in their eye. They just come completely to life. It's so great.
Kathy Culture from Songbirds. Love your work.
Thanks, Kathy. Catherine, are you Catherine? I thought you're Catherine. Yeah. All right.
I have some. Long, like usual.
A little bit of green in their pin feathers. Whoops. One of the things that I spoke about in another studio tour was my teachers, my painting instructors at Millersville and Pennsylvania Academy. They taught us to not rely on white a lot to create light. We used color instead, and you know, really worked on our value studies, and that's just paid off for me. I just really, my colors have a lot of like glow to them, and I think it's because of that. All right, I'm gonna take a little break from Little Miss Cardinal, and we're gonna do a tour of some artwork because I have about like 18 minutes left. So my website is very easy. It's www.kerrysacco.com. My Facebook professional page is Kerry Sacco Paintings and Lithographs. I'm on Instagram too. I link those two together. So I just appreciate, you know, everybody tuning in like this and helping us in this show endeavor, because we were just like, what are we going to do now? We hope to see everybody in September physically, so we just have to stay tuned. gives Philly like a chance to, you know, heal and recover from all the craziness. So what I would, you know, go back in with a smaller brush and do, but I try to work with a large brush as long as possible. And then I usually title it with some kind of words from the song that I had looked up. So let's see. Where is Marvin Gaye's song again? What's going on? I don't know. We've got to find a way. I think that's what it's going to be called. I'll finish this and it'll be up on my Facebook page and my website. So let's do a little studio tour while we still have some time. And Jim, do you... Okay. All right, let's start over here. We have a puppy. So I typically paint, living in Pennsylvania, I paint Pennsylvania landscapes, waterways. I love boats, bridges. I'm really influenced by my surroundings. Growing up just outside of Philadelphia, Ridley Creek State Park is a wonderful place to paint. These falls are just beautiful. Any time of the year, these falls are beautiful. So I do a lot of reflective light, and my colors have a lot of pigment to them. And like I said, I don't use a lot of white, so the colors tend to be real luminous and glow. This is from Finger Lakes during harvest season. We were up there 2 years ago. And the craziest part about this is it's wine country, and it was during Merlot harvest, and we had to all sit around covering our wine glasses because the fruit flies were insane. So let's turn to this wall. So sometimes I paint what's right out our backyard. This is just from looking across the street into all the wetlands that surround the trail, but I see that beautiful sunset all the time. This again is Ridley Creek Park, but this is a winter view. So like I said, that it's just beautiful no matter what time of year. There's probably a little bit of glare on these, but these are all available on my website. And some of the, oh gosh, boats and old cars. I could just paint them forever. So this is a plein air piece that was done. Morning on the Delaware was a New Hope plein air. This is Ireland. Old cars. We love Maine. We love to paint up in Maine. This is Swan Island. We took a great trip up there in September and want to go back again this year, because what else are you going to do besides go on a road trip? I'm not getting on a plane. Copenhagen, the Nyhavn is a beautiful, beautiful harbor there. So I do get my inspiration from my travels. This is Lancaster County. I work in this little 6x6 size and frame my landscapes in these nice wide frames, and they're just floated in there. And this is just a really nice size. A lot of times people buy these and stack them if you're limited in your space. I do take commissions. So this is a commission for an insurance company. It's the bridge over the Susquehanna, the Columbia Wrightsville Bridge. And it's just iconic, and the architecture is beautiful. And the cool story is the insurance company, the very first customer
1920.
in 1920 was the concrete company that did this. So that bridge is special to them. But it's just, this is a view from the Lancaster County side looking north, but this is just going to look stunning in their entranceway, in their remodeled offices. So again, we're working over here to all the Pennsylvania waterways that I love. Susquehanna crossing up top here is up near going towards Susquehanna along 1115. It's just so pretty right up through there. All the little islands. So we do, our creek here. This is what I love. It was the only snow day we had this winter, and I went out and got lots of reference photos. So I'll take you over to the Songbird collection now. Might have to be over top of them. So these are some of the newest ones that I just finished. All of them have the lyrics on them. They come wired and sealed in the back, and they just look really great. Stacked, or I'm gonna do work on a woodpecker for a friend to add to his bird collection. He likes to see what comes to his feeder. So let's come over to the elephants, Jimmy. This elephant series that I developed, I work on panel. Let me show you one of these panels. It looks like this. So I tear newspaper and apply it, archivally to the boards, because the newspaper echoes the folds and the wrinkles of the elephants, and it just gives it kind of another texture. And then I seal it with some gesso. So I paint the elephants with the thought in mind of what the elephant represents. And a lot of it came from some of the yoga studies that I was doing. And I title them, they're good titles, like Learning to Lead. Jim, you help me come up with the titles too, don't you? He's very proud of that. I think this is called Side by Side.
You must have done that one.
This is Timeless. Okay, so, and I do my fair share of my funny roosters with their, Jim says I can paint attitude. And titling these, I have to sit with the painting for a while until these charismatic little buggers tell me what I'm supposed to title it. My titles do not come easy, but his title is Take a Number. Title for this one is I just titled this one. It's called something, I forget. I don't know. This is called Bring It On. Bring It On. And all right, these three little ones back here, they're 8x8s. They're in the cradle board. So I did these two. This one, this little landscape is a downtown Lancaster. And we kind of did these for the Demuth Museum Invitational, of basing it off of like the way Charles Demuth would paint the city of Lancaster and how it's changed with the old and the new. So I have like a little bookbinder shop here, but with the brand new construction of the big wear center in the front and all the reflection. And then this was a really interesting piece. It was still life in the time of COVID-19. And again, through the Demuth Museum here in Lancaster, it was a group show, totally online, and it really gave a lot of the artists just a chance to work out stuff that was in their minds. I chose to use newspaper headlines that I was cutting out all over the place regarding the pandemic, and painted over it. And it's titled I Was Away From You During the Spring, and it's based on a Shakespeare sonnet. And it just was what I felt. We didn't see anybody from March to June. It's just crazy. But these all symbolize something in my life. Like the cobalt vase was a gift from a dear friend. This is my mom's silver sugar bowl, and the yellow tulip is like the only spring flower that I get here, and it symbolizes like rebirth and renewal. So family, friends, and rebirth, renewal.
Mimi's on.
Hey! And
can you cover your website again, Kerry? Kerry.
Yeah, www.kerrysacco.com. KerrysSacco. So then we'll just wrap it up with this version. I do some plein air shows. We did a really great show last fall that was a plein air invitational for the Lancaster Conservancy, and we painted at different preserves and just had a really nice reception here in our barn, and then some of the work went for sale at the Conservancy's big gala. But it was my artist friends that stepped up and braved trekking through some of these preserves to paint. It was like unbelievable. It was great. And then one of the last things that I started doing during this whole quarantine is I got back into some figurative work, which I had studied a lot at the Pennsylvania Academy. So my friend Beth Bath and her partner Bill Taylor, who has a photography studio, they have opened up their archives of model shoots and put them out to artists every Friday. She releases them through Short Dog Studio, and a lot of us have just embraced it and had a lot of fun. I didn't really get to paint past the end of March, work on the figurative work. My studio was kind of shut down because Jim and I were raising 9 puppies. We fostered a dog, picked her up in February, and on March 12th, she surprised us with 9. Well, we knew she was pregnant, but she surprised us with 9 puppies. So it was really great. We said March 12th they came, and then the world shut down 2 days later, and so they're all in loving forever homes, and we kept one. Her name is JoJo.
I don't see her.
No, she's kind of wandering around. But do we have any? Oh wait, there's Adam. He was our Uncle Adam, the best babysitter in the world. If you look on my Facebook videos, him playing with all these puppies was spectacular. So before we wrap it up, I have about 5 minutes. So does anybody have any questions? You seeing any? Is everybody just saying hi?
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention after my Facebook Live at 1 o'clock, I'm followed by Gene Petrosky and Dennis Kuzensky. Dennis, I just read your last name. But Gene's a fellow board member, and you'll want to tune into this one because it's they make their own paper and they paint it and they do these beautiful constructions, and it's just going to be a fascinating process. And that's what I love. I'm getting to see how everyone is painting and creating, and I feel like I do know all the artists a lot better. So
do you ever take commissions with a song request?
Absolutely, yes. I was saying earlier I did cardinals with someone to watch over me, and I did cardinals with You Are My Sunshine, but I just like exploring more music. So if you really have a special songbird and you have a special song, I'm absolutely into doing that for you, because it's just, I love it, absolutely love it. And any more, Jimmy Jim?
Oh. No, people are complimenting your presentation. I think they wanted to see the puppy, but...
You want to see the puppy? Let's go find the puppy. Jojo!
I'm going to look over here. I see a horse.